Check it out. If you are not utilizing a layering system for Western hunting, you are missing out on a way more efficient way of doing things. In this video, I'm gonna break down my Sitka Gear layering system for 2024, and hopefully at the end of this, you're gonna have a better idea of how to build your own layering kit. All right, guys, here we go. Got everything laid out on the table here. Everything that is on this table is going to cover me for 90% of the year. What I mean by that, there might be some specialty items that I bring in and out as the season progresses, stuff like puffy pants or something like that, but everything right here, 90% of the year, I'm gonna be totally fine, and this is what I'm gonna base everything else off of, okay? Before I start talking about each thing individually though, I just want to point out, I just want to talk about layering systems a little bit. When I first heard of a layering system, I honestly thought it was a gimmick. I was younger. I'm like, oh, that's just a way they're trying to sell high-end hunting clothing. Layering systems are legit, man. They are meant to work together. It is each item has a job to do. And when they do their job properly and you get the right team together, layering system, you are going to be warm and dry, and that is the goal. Okay, so the 101 of a layering system for me is you have your base layer, your mid layer, your windbreaker, insulation, and then rain gear. Okay, everything is based off of that. All right, some things may change here and there. So like maybe like a base layer, maybe on a later season hunt, I'm gonna start off with a little thicker base layer than I would in August when it's warmer. So I'll have like a more ultra light base layer in August. But that system right there, how I just laid that out, that is how I approach the entire year, no matter the hunt. It doesn't matter. That is how I build my kit before I go hunting. So I'm gonna run through each one of these items here. Sitka has a crazy amount of options. So I think breaking down some of this stuff, there's not a lot here on the table. I think this is gonna really help give you a clear view on what might work for you. So downstairs, I'm gonna be using Sitka Core Merino underwear. These are super comfortable. Merino's fantastic, antimicrobial. So it doesn't hold on to funk. Bacteria has a harder time attaching to merino than it does synthetic. So you're probably going to stink, but your garment is going to be able to stay funk free for way longer. Sitka Core Merino underwear. Go with pants here. So I have a couple pairs of pants here. And the reason being is because the next hunt I have coming up is a spring bear hunt, okay? Going to Idaho, ticks are a thing, okay? So for me, I'm always out here in the backyard before spring bear season treating all of my clothes with permethrin. So when I heard about these, it was a no-brainer to me. I wanted to get my hands on them. This is the Equinox Guard Pant. I got it in a solid color, and I'm bow hunting, and I'm not normally a solid guy, but the reason I got solid is because you're able to see ticks better on solid clothing. On camo clothing, man, it's way harder to see. It's way harder to see those little guys crawling around, especially something like this. Like there's a lot going on there. So something like this, I'm going to be able to see those guys crawling around. The other thing though that was a no-brainer for me. This has a built-in insect shield. It's treated with permethrin for the life of the product. So this is gonna save me time. I'm not gonna have to treat this stuff before I go hunting. So give you a little overview here. They have heat dumps back here. They're vented, which is awesome. The tick thing comes into play here, mosquitoes too, but the tick thing, having heat dumps on pants as you're brush busting in the springtime when you're bear hunting, that just freaks me out. I don't want those little buggers getting into my pants. So this is really nice having heat dumps there, because it gets hot sometimes out there when you're bear hunting in the springtime. You got a pocket here. This is a super comfortable pant. It's very lightweight. The inside of it really reminds me of the Intercept pant, which I'll talk about here in a second. But it's kind of grid-like on the inside. It doesn't feel sticky or anything like that when you're hiking around. I just put some miles on these the other day and I was super impressed with them. Very comfortable. So that is the pant that I will be running for spring bear season, especially like Idaho, Montana, where ticks can be an issue. So Equinox Guard pant, really stoked on that pant. If I'm not using that pant though, if I'm doing, you know, like the fall hunts or even January Coos Deer here in Arizona, I just wrapped that up. This pant here, particularly for bow hunting, is I think my favorite hunting pant I've used so far for Western bow hunting. This is the Intercept pant. Very comfortable. It's got that same grid-like pattern on the inside of it. Feels good on the skin. It's got heat dumps here. These open up fully though. All right. You don't have the netting there like on the Equinox Guard. There's also knee pads in these. I'm not normally a knee pad guy, okay? I normally take knee pads out of pants that come with knee pads. These though, whatever they got going on here, these don't annoy me. That's why I'd take them out in other pants, because I'd feel the knee pads swaying back and forth on my shin and it just got really annoying. These, I almost don't even know they're there until I kneel down to put a tent stake in or make dinner or something like that. So really cool. Crawling in on animals bow hunting, this is a game changer. So Sitka Intercept pant. It's also very quiet for bow hunting, so absolutely love this pant. So up top, this is where, before I move up top, base layer bottoms, let me touch on that really fast. I'm not a huge fan of base layer bottoms unless I really need base layer bottoms. I would rather do something like pack a pair of puffy pants or something like that rather than bring base layer bottoms with me. And the reason being is because, you know, Western hunting, a lot of times you're doing a lot of hiking, okay? And sweat builds up pretty fast. And especially, you know, during like the springtime where maybe like at night it's you know, in the 40s or something, which is fine. But then during the day, you know, you're hiking and it's sunny and it gets warm out and you're covering miles, putting elevation on. I mean, those things end up getting drenched. So for me, I would rather avoid wearing base layer bottoms. But that's just me. So I don't even have a pair laying here because I'm just going to try to not use them at all. So when it comes to up top, you have two options, okay? You can go with a synthetic layer or a merino layer. I am normally, I lean heavy on the merino side when it comes to next to skin tops. I've just always been like that. It's very comfortable. Merino is really good at wicking moisture away from your body, and it keeps the funk down. However, I mentioned the tick thing. So Sitka makes not only the Equinox Guard pant, but they make the Equinox Guard hoodie. So that's what this is. This is the same thing. It's treated with permethrin for the life of the product. I don't have to treat this before I go. It's in a solid color. All right, so I'll be able to see those little buggers crawling on me if they're there. Like I said, it's got a hood. It's got a little built-in mask there, which is nice and vented so you can breathe through it. You don't get all that, your breath stuck in a mask. I hate that. Quarter zip. Super comfortable. If I had to compare this to something, this is really like very comparable to a core lightweight hoodie, but it's treated with permethrin. So really dig this. It's got a little pocket here on the side. You can put like turkey calls in there or something like that. I'll probably put a predator call in there. So bear season's right around the corner. You can tell what's on my mind. So other than that, that's a synthetic piece. If I'm not using that, the rest of the year, I'm using this thing right here. This is a core merino hoodie. Same type of layout. You have a built-in mask here, hood. You still got that little pocket here for like if you want to put elk calls there or something like that. This thing is super soft. It's unbelievably comfortable. Quarter zip, so you can dump heat if you need to. On the sleeves here, you have thumb holes, which is nice. Helps keep the sun. I like using those to help try to keep sun off the top of my hands, because when I'm glassing, a lot of times I'm like, I'm like this, right? And all of this ends up getting sunburnt a lot on me. So when I remember to actually use the thumb holes, it helps with me not getting sunburned. There you go, Core Merino hoodie. Love this thing. Definitely more of an ultra light base layer. They have different weights of these that you can get them in, so you can kind of act accordingly as the season progresses. That's going to be my main one though. So that is base layer. Now we are going to jump into mid layer. The mid layer that I'm going to use throughout the entire year is going to be this ambient jacket. This thing is absolutely awesome. Super, super, super comfortable. The inside of it is this very soft fleece-like, but broken material. What I mean by broken is it breathes. So it's not consistent throughout the entire inside of the garment. Sitka considers this their active insulation. Okay, so let's say you need to move quick. You've got a buck spotted, and you need to cover ground fast for 20 minutes or whatever to get over there to close the distance. You're not going to have to shed this off, because it's going to breathe much better than something a traditional mid layer might, and which would trap heat in more. You're going to end up getting to the deer and be absolutely soaking wet. I did that with this on, I tested this out on a spot and stalk deer hunt here in Arizona, and there were several times when I left this on because I just wanted to see what would happen. And of course, if you hike with this for an hour, yes, you're going to get sweaty, okay? But just covering some country quick to get to an animal, normally what I'm doing is I'm stripping down to one layer to go after stuff, or to go get water or something like that. It's just something nice to have, like especially early in the morning, when it's cold. Going down to one layer is always not the most appealing sounding thing. So being able to keep something like this on and have a little bit more warmth, and know that this is not going to be soaking wet by the time you get to your glassing spot, that is super cool. So really like this ambient jacket. It's got a hood on it, full zip on there, and the outside feels sort of like a very lightweight nylon almost. So it's been pretty durable. I had it in the desert, and I don't have any holes in it or anything like that. So pockets here with breathable mesh material on the inside, help you dump out some heat a little bit if you need to. So there you go, ambient jacket. Really love that piece. The next thing I'm going to put over that is my windshield. All right, out of all the items on this table, the thing that I was the most surprised with is this right here. Okay, this is the Mountain Evo jacket. I'm not joking. When I got this in the mail, I thought I was probably going to leave it at home. I had a deer hunt just this past January in Arizona, and it was calling for some pretty wicked wind for part of the trip. So I was like, you know what? Let me bring it with. I'll reevaluate at the trailhead and see what it really feels like. So got to the trailhead. It was pretty windy and cold. So I was like, I'm going to wear this. I'll wear this on the way in, and maybe this is going to end up staying at my tent. I had this thing on most of the trip. I was super impressed with it. It is solely a windshield. You put it over your mid layer and wear it underneath your insulation layer. I've never done that before, but after talking to the boys at Sitka about this, how they explained it to me was putting this underneath the insulation layer rather than over it. Like some people you can do this, you can put it over it. I've done this in the past with rain gear and used rain gear as a wind blocker. But the thing that does, when you put something over your insulation like this, your insulation, this is your puffy jacket, right? You put something over that, you're starting to compress that jacket, which is decreasing the amount of insulation that it has. By putting this underneath it, you're not doing that at all. So you're getting the full wind block, but you're keeping full insulation on the outside. And I tell you what, man, you'll be surprised at the difference between having this on and not having it on underneath the jacket. The jacket is warm 100%, but if you're sitting there in a stiff wind and it's going and not stopping, that wind has a way of sneaking in to wherever it may be, okay, maybe through your pockets, okay, and you will eventually start to get cold. This is gonna help with that immensely. Full zip here. It's got 4-way stretch panels in the armpit and the back to help with mobility and stuff. The hood will fully shield you from the wind as well, so you can put it on, put your hood on. That's another thing that I took for granted was the hood. I put the hood on like over my beanie, and it made a world of difference. So Mountain Evo jacket, I really I didn't expect to like this thing as much as I did. So really cool piece. All right, covered all that. Let's get into insulation pieces. All right, this is your puffy jacket. I'm sure all of you have heard of that, a puffy jacket. I have 2 pieces sitting here, the Kelvin Aerolite jacket and the Kelvin Aerolite vest. I wore the Kelvin Aerolite jacket on my deer hunt in January, and before I left, I'm gonna be honest, I was pretty worried about staying warm because I hadn't tested it out yet properly. And this thing is so thin in comparison to something like a down jacket. It doesn't have a lot of loft to it, that I was like, man, I'm gonna freeze my butt off. Lows are in the high 20s, and all I wore on that hunt was the Kelvin Aerolite jacket and the Evo Ambient and the Core Merino hoodie. That's it, and I was totally fine. I was pretty blown away. Like, as a backpack hunter, less is more to me, right? Like, I'm always looking for ways to pare my gear down and be more lightweight, more packable. And this system right here just screams that. So I'll go through the jacket first here. Kelvin Aerolite jacket. The hood is fantastic on here. Hoods are a pet peeve of mine. I hate it when you're sitting there glassing or something and the wind comes this way and then the hood blows off. I hate having to mess with the drawstrings and everything on jackets to try to get it just right for the hood to stay on. This one, I never had to do that. This stayed on great. It got an elastic band around the hood, which fits great right here, so it's not gonna shoot back on you when the wind blows. You got a little pocket right here for, you know, your phone or whatever. Full zip. See the inside here. This is treated, has a DWR treatment on it, so it will bead water. It is not a replacement for rain gear though, all right? I had this in snow, and most of the time it was snowing. I didn't have to, it never got through to the inside. I didn't have to put on rain gear or anything like that. When it started raining, that's when I had to put on rain gear. Same material as the outside, all right? This thing packs down super small. You've got elastic right here around the cuff. Fits really great. It doesn't annoy you right here around your wrist. I've had some jackets in the past, you know, like where maybe there's like a piece there, like a piece that's a little harder and not quite comfortable. That kind of digs into your wrist, and that's always super annoying. So, Sitka Kelvin Aerolite jacket, absolutely amazing. Super impressed with this thing. This right here is the vest version. If you are a vest kind of person, this is the same exact thing as this, except it doesn't have the arms on it. Around the arms here, you have elastic, so it'll help trap heat in better. Same thing though, like full zip. This is the inside. You got the same layout, like with pockets and everything like that. I'm sure I'll use this. Probably just around town, honestly, but if I were going on a hunt where, you know, it wasn't going to be super cold, but maybe I just needed something a little extra, I might bring this instead of the jacket and just throw this on over one of these pieces. So that is the Sitka Kelvin Aerolite vest. All right, guys, that's the brunt of it. We just got a couple more items here. Let's go over rain gear. Rain gear is one of those things that it's like sometimes you know, I leave it at the truck. I don't even bring it with me, you know. But you don't need this stuff until you need it. That's my thoughts on rain gear. So if there is any chance of there be, I don't care if it's 10% on the forecast, I'm bringing rain gear with me. Like spring bear coming up here. It just usually rains quite a bit on and off throughout that entire hunt. It's, you know, like most of the time you're not sitting in the tent for a whole day or anything, but little systems move through here and there. So I'm always going to have rain gear with me on stuff like that. This is the dew point system, dew point jacket. This is it stuffed down into its own pocket. So it packs down very small. One of the things that blows me away is how lightweight this stuff feels. It's pretty unbelievable. I had this out on my deer hunt and it worked out great. Got quite a bit of moisture on that and didn't have any leaks or anything. But that's about it, right? Like you put this stuff away when the rain stops. One feature that I really like about this though, if you're hunting in, even if it's not raining, okay, one way I might utilize this, if you have to hike through dew, like if you're hiking through really tall brush and it's all wet and you don't want to get your clothes wet, you want to throw on your rain gear, this stuff right here, this has a heat dump on the armpit here, because that's the thing that the unfortunate thing about rain gear is it's really good at keeping water out, but it's also really good at keeping water in, meaning your sweat, okay? So if you hike a lot in rain gear, you're gonna sweat your butt off because it's basically a shield of armor that is shielding you from moisture. So if you're building up sweat on the inside, that moisture is not going anywhere. It's gonna stay there. You're gonna be soaking wet on the inside of your jacket. So this right here, this is really cool. Heat dumps on the armpits here would come in super handy, like, you know, if it's raining and you have to cover country, or if you're hiking through really wet tall brush. It's got a hood on it, of course, pockets on the side. Like you saw, this thing, it went down into its own pocket. It's got Velcro adjustable cuffs here, so you can tighten those up if you want, keep water out. So dew point jacket. These are the same things as dew point pants. For rain pants, I've held a lot of rain pants. Again, these are scary lightweight. Same thing as the jacket, but they're the pants. You've got full-length leg zips here. This is an absolute must with rain gear, in my opinion, nowadays. There's no excuse for not having it. It just makes putting the rain gear on so much easier. If I remember being younger and I was in my early 20s and trying to fit rain gear over my wet, muddy boots, and then you pull it up and then all the mud's on the inside of the rain pant. There's no reason for it these days, man. Stuff like this is awesome. So full-length leg zip, super easy to take on and off. You got the built-in belt here. That'll come in handy for sure. It feels elastic back here too, so that'll help with fit. But that's rain gear, man. Like I said, it's like you don't need it until you do, and when you do need it, it's really nice when you have it. So, all right, guys, that's going to cover the whole layering system. I've got a couple other miscellaneous items over here just to go through. Socks. These are not from Sitka. This is from Farm to Feet. It's a Farm to Feet Eli. This is probably one of my favorite socks that I own. Fits great, very comfortable, doesn't slip around on my foot at all, and I've even stocked animals in these, so I really love this sock. The Jetstream beanie, Sitka Jetstream beanie, it's a wind stopper. It's very comfortable on the inside. It's got like a fleecy type of liner in there. This is always going to be in my backpack. These are the Stormfront gaiters. Pretty beefy. It's got a beefy strap here that goes around the bottom of your boot. Cool little clip system here where you can adjust the tightness around your leg to help the gaiter from falling down. This is all Velcro right here. I don't normally bring gaiters on all of my hunts. On the ones that were at Matters though, in particular the spring bear hunts I have coming up, we're crossing creeks a lot, hiking through knee-deep snow. Having those gaiters helps keep water from going in through the top of my boot. So on those hunts in particular, or any hunts where I know I'm going to be hiking through rivers, creeks, or through snow, I'm going to have those gaiters with me. So that's going to do it, guys. That's everything. If you have any questions, please drop them down below and I will answer them to the best of my abilities. If you're interested in picking any of this stuff up, go over to blackovis.com. I have a code, dialed 10. Use that code and you are going to save money. Good gear is not cheap and every little bit helps. If you like the video, please hit thumbs up. If you like the channel, please hit subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.